Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Welcome back to Challenge Spectate. Again, continuing the trend of champions that once they're locked on the enemy team, I'm a bit scared of them. We hinted at it last episode. Nidalee. So Nidalee is, to me, a pretty scary champion. Because I think, well, personally, she's a mega snowball jungler. So again, if you don't know what the term snowballing is in League of Legends, think that you're on the top of a hill in real life with snow. And you make a little snowball and you roll that snowball down the hill. What happens? The ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So in League of Legends effect, what it means is you get one kill, you keep going, you get two, you get three, you get four. It's very hard to stop the momentum of some champions more than others. And I think Nidalee is one of, if not one, the biggest snowballing jungler. Maybe the biggest AP snowballing jungler in the game. The reason being, she has one of the fastest clear times of any jungler. Even for like an AP jungler that they normally don't have fast clear times. Some do, like Karthus isn't bad and stuff, but it's rare. And a lot of champions, a lot of AP champions aren't the best in the early game. Like a lot of mages in mid lane aren't that good early. But AP Nidalee, she's not bad in the early game. But the reason why you don't see a lot of them, I think, is that she is an incredibly skillful champion and a high-risk champion to play. So her Q, the big spear when she's in human form, well, you need to be accurate with that. If you're not, if you miss every single one, that's a lot of her damage that you're missing. But yeah, it's about decision-making of when to be in Cougar form, when to be in human form, all of that stuff you have to know. And also, using the Cougar jumps to get around the map really well and not just running into a wall is a lot about how fast you can be with this champion. Now, one thing is worth noting, I know a lot of people rate, obviously, Korea as the be and end-all server for good players in League. Just a worth note, when I looked up, just now, and I do my little bit of research on who's worth watching, this person's called Nida the Leader. They're a Nidalee main in Challenger EU West. In the list of, the best Korean players on a couple of websites that, obviously, I frequent to find these players, all the best Nidalee players in the world, I'd say the top 5 to 10, most of them, Korean. All are Korean. Because, again, I would imagine she is quite heavily utilized in Korea. From what my knowledge is, and by the way, I do want to try and maybe start doing spectates of Korean replays. I might have a way to do it. So let me know if you want me to do Korean replays. But they, from what I know, are quite aggressive, high, mechanic champions. So Nidalee is kind of in both of those avenues. And that's why it's not surprising that most of the really good Nidalee players are from Korea. So potential gank is on. Thresh already in mid lane. His AD carries had the base to survive. They had gotten a kill. Meanwhile, Lucian does flash, and you can see the Nidalee Q was predicting where the Lucian was going to be, not where he currently is. Crab is spawning, and we can vaguely, hear that happening, so I presume Echo is actually taking the Crab right now. But obviously, Nidalee did steal blue buff from the Echo with just how fast her jungle clear is, Echo, not a bad jungler. I think most of us actually think he's insanely strong. Well, Nidalee had enough time. You can see Echo's trying to get a nice little cheeky steal here himself. Nidalee takes it, level 4 versus level 3 Echo. Echo trying to oh, she stole something of mine. I want to steal some of her. Too late, too slow. Nidalee could do her blue, a couple other camps, go into his blue, steal that before Echo even got to blue buff. Yeah, Nidalee's clear time is crazy. And, with the champion, she has already burned both of the health potions, by the way. But if you're really effective with kiting and AoE and, healing in between each camp and attack speed, you can stay in the jungle a long time as Nidalee. You don't have to base that often at all. So Nidalee going to maybe look for a gank. Is going the long route. Does get found out in the end. Ezreal in trouble. Not really sure why he isn't eating away. Nidalee gets the kill, obviously running Dark Harvest, by the way. Runes, we can have a little look while there's some downtime. So, Dark Harvest, that we just saw, she got her first soul. Sudden Impact, so after her, Cougar jump, she'll get an extra bonus damage. Eyeball Collection, as it is an aggressive jungler that you are looking to get kills early. And Ravenous Hunter. Then she's running Inspiration, which is Magical Footwear. And then Cosmic Insight, and then the actual little things. She's running attack speed, adaptive damage, and then armor. So nothing out of the ordinary. I would presume you probably could replace Inspiration, maybe with Sorcery, possibly, as an option. But for this game, they have decided to not do that. So Nidalee was doing some jungle clearing. You see, has stopped doing the jungle clear to go for a gank. Maybe because she can see Camille is thingying, struggling. Does land a nice spear. Is going to go for it. Renekton in trouble. Is going to go down to the Nidalee as well with her red smite. But that was a risky gank, if I'm honest. There were so many minions there that, you know, if Renekton didn't get hit by that initial Q, maybe he could have turned it around. It's just that initial, like, couple hundred damage in the early game with a big Q by Nidalee that just kind of gave it, obviously, to the blue team's favour. But as we mentioned, you know, high school champion, she has to land that Q. And you could argue part of it is she has to land a Q, but other people aren't dodging the Q. Obviously, true, but that's the same for every single skill shot in the game. Worth also noting, Lucian in mid lane, you know, is here or there, but I've always mentioned it's not the best thing to do in a solo queue environment if you don't have a balanced team comp. So they, as a team, are missing a really nice, solid AP mage carry. Yeah, they've got Karma, but she kind of falls off later in the game. They have Echo, who's not a mage, he's an assassin. So the red team isn't what I would call balanced. They have a lot of AD damage, and then they have an AP assassin that can be quite easily denied. So there's that. And, you know, he's doing okay versus Akali, but naturally, we've mentioned a few times, what type of champion is supposed to be beating AD carries? Well, one of the types is an assassin. That's what an Akali is. So it's a bit weird. Once again, you are seeing the Nidalee throwing these spears in prediction of where people are, not necessarily not where they are right now. It's just predicting that. She will go down to the Echo, though, doing a bunch of damage, even though he's not level 6 yet. The enemy team looking to clean all that up, does get a full clean, and that is really good for red team there. Nidalee did get the kill, and also that would be another stack for her. Top lane having a couple of duels. Again, Renekton should and want to get ahead in the early game. Naturally, he will get outscaled to a Camille, just by how the champions are with items and their scalings. I love Renekton as a champion. I think he's really fun to play, nice mechanics, but I just wish they gave him scaling. I'd like, feel free, Riot, to take some of his early game scaling and base damage away and give him a couple 0.2, 0.3 extra AD in his ratios. Nice spear, did know he was there. Echo in trouble, does ult to get a bit more health, but look at Nidalee damage, by the way. A lot of damage, basically does over half health to Echo, like, chunks him, he ults, chunks him again. A lot. She does escape the pit, though, because Karma moseyed on her way there to stop that happening. And Nidalee's not going to waste any time or like, oh, maybe I can do the dragon. Nope, she's going to go straight to go farm more. No downtime. It's the pattern of a good jungler is that you will see these champions, they don't just wait in, these players, they don't just wait in a bush for 20 seconds and hope a gank is going to work. They don't do that. It's too much time wastage. They always want to be doing something. Either they're always wanting to do an objective, like what's happening here, or they're wanting to get their gold income or XP up. The idea of waiting in a bush, that you're just sitting there, yeah, even if you get the kill, great, you got the kill, but you could have maybe got way more gold than that kill gave in the long run. So that's why, again, you will see a lot of these players, they don't just chill in bushes, these really good jungle players. And by the way, I don't know what the breakdown of this series so far has been, this mini-series within Challenge and Spectate of, like, roles. But I would guess jungle is by far the most that I've done so far. And that is obviously for a reason. Jungle is the scariest role at the moment. It's the most decision-making role of the game. What decides if you're going to win or lose. I believe anyway. But, you know, I don't know if you agree or not. But it's the one. Every game that I'm like, oh, snap, we won. It's usually my jungler getting ahead. Oh, God, we lost really badly. It's usually the jungler really far behind. I'd say 9 times out of 10. So Nidalee, again, I did just say, oh, these champions don't wait in bushes. So she's actually commentator's curse here. My only guess of why she is doing this is because she's valuing going for a Rift Herald play above everything else. And Rift Herald obviously would give her a lot of gold income, even though she isn't getting the kill. I do think she got a Dark Harvest stack here. But yeah, that's why I'm guessing she's committing. We should see a Rift Herald play happen. So yeah, that's why she's committing to this, I would guess, is because she did decide, nope, I want to use the Rift Herald now to maximize the gold with, obviously, the tower plate. So she's going to kill a couple of the tower plates first, and then when the minions are dwindled down a bit, then she'll pop the Rift Herald. But obviously, doing this play, she has just given the dragon to the enemy team. And it is worth noting, if you guys don't know, she can leave the dragon. You're like, oh god, how did she get all that gold? worth noting, it is considered her Rift Herald. So she can, like, teleport away. Obviously, she doesn't have teleport. But if it's your Rift Herald, if you're, say, the top laner and you blow Rift Herald, you can pop Rift Herald, teleport away, and you'll still get the gold income from the tower because it's considered your damage dealing on the tower. So yeah, a lot of people, I would presume, don't know that. But now you do. Echo in bot lane. Enemy is looking maybe to set up a dive, possibly, of some kind. And you can see now Lucian and Akali. I personally don't think the Lucian's done enough in the early game to stop the Akali. You know, she is doing quite well. Nidalee going and getting the kill. But yeah, I don't think the Lucian has done enough to warrant the pick so far. It's weird to me that he's taken teleport. I really do think as something like a Lucian mid that's a bit cheesy, that you're an AD carry, you've got to get ahead of a champion like a Akali that will eventually kill you anyway. I think Ignite is what you have to go, and you have to go really aggressive early, and I just don't think he did that. Like, farm, they're nearly even in farm. That's not enough. So, yeah, there's that. Anything worth noting? Well, bot lane, the Caitlyn is struggling a bit. The Ezreal, 20 or so farm ahead, obviously doing quite well. Camille looking to roam. You can see her near the Nidalee there. Arguably because Renekton's up in top lane, maybe freezing that. So Camille is, I'm not going to go all the way to top lane where I'm just going to get ganked instantly being that far overextended. Let's look for a roam play. Again, so many people, including myself, struggle on, having a good game in top lane and then transitioning that on helping your team win the game. A good way of doing it is what this Camille's doing. See, she made a play happen. She roamed, she got the kill with Akali on Lucian, and that forced the Renekton to leave the freeze. So it's done two things in one. It's just forcing that to happen. Nidalee is looking aggressive. Ezreal stands on a trap, does go down eventually. Nice, and will get that spear, and will die. Lovely double kill by blue team. Good synergy by Caitlyn and the Nidalee there. And it's good to see. Aggression level is high. Enemy looking for this gank. There's the Echo. Gets just instantly half health with one spear. So he has to be careful. Is he going to continue? Gets, again, two spears in a row, and he's on the back foot. He is going to go aggressive on the Nidalee. Doesn't get the kill. Akali does. Nice teleport to come and help. And yeah, that is it. Nice spears. So again, when you've got a good player on Nidalee that is actively hitting these spears, accurately, it is scary. So yeah, not bad at all. Lucian does get a return kill though on the Thresh. They are under the tower. Does get killed by the Caitlyn, but then Ezreal gets the kill on the Caitlyn as well. So all of that crazy is happening. Item build for the Nidalee has already now got her second completed item with also tier 2 boots at 30 minutes in the game. So I would imagine next time we see Nidalee landing a Q, a spear, and then going for this all in, on most champions on this team, I would expect her to be nearly one-shotting most of these people. Now, with that Lichbane synergy, it's frightening how much damage this champion can do. And we did speak about earlier, it's the snowball effect. She does so much damage when on squishy champions, where she gets items in the early game. It's so hard to survive. So here we go. Will she land a spear? She's opening up, does miss the spear initially. Karma going for that latch. She can still go for it, maybe doesn't hit the spear, and then there you go. So that is obviously, as we mentioned, the problem with the champion. She's very reliant on landing these Qs. So that's why some of you may not be scared of a Nidalee. If you are in a more, let's say, average rating, maybe a silver Nidalee isn't very accurate ever. And here we go. Bang, dead. Told you. And that was a short-range spear, remember. The spear does more damage the longer the spear travels. That was a short-range spear, and it's a little thunk, and he's dead. Can't even react. Crazy. And again, returning to bot lane in a 2v1 situation here. Doesn't land the spear. Again, is a squishy champion that, you're wondering, oh, what's her weakness? Well, mobility, if you can dodge her Qs, and she is squishy. So if you actually do damage to her, she will die pretty quick. Once again, by the way, worth noting, Camille is down here in bot lane. Nice there, and boom, dead again. Camille's down here because the Renekton is deciding to freeze. Really, he cannot freeze that because it's giving Camille free reign of roaming around, and her roams are right now being incredibly effective. This Renekton has to push that lane to force the Camille to stay in top lane, but he's not doing that. And reminding, he's supposed to be beating a Camille in the early game, but he hasn't so far, mainly because Nidalee did a really good gank and got him behind in the early. So Lucian now in trouble, is completely surrounded. Another kill by Nidalee, and that will open up the possibility of Dragon. So she, by the way, is up to 12 Dark Harvest stacks, 912. And I will say, a lot of, obviously, the replays that we do here, we highlight kind of stomps with the champion that we're scared of. But worth saying, like, oh, I will say, this game doesn't go on for incredibly a long time because of the nature of the game. But I wanted to highlight that because we mentioned it, I have done already a couple of times, Nidalee is the queen of snowballing in the jungle. So, you know, if a Nidalee has a good game, you can see Echo, he knows he's dead, gets one shot, he might even rage quit, who knows. If a Nidalee has a good game, this is what it looks like. It's so hard to stop it. She's just so aggressive, so much damage. You get one shot if you make a mistake. It's just crazy, you know. And again, why is it boom dead? Why isn't Nidalee played in every game I can hear? Well, again, high skill champ. This isn't when it goes bad for Nidalee, it goes really bad. And Ezreal just left the game. And reminding, this is challenger level. So we mentioned last episode that, hey, if there could be a 15 kills Kane in a game, in a challenger game, there can be a 15 kill something in silver. You know, I like doing these because it shows the realism of solo queue, that good and bad player exists in every single rating. Rage quits and quitting the game exists in every single rating. It's not just a low rating thing. It's why so many people, when they're like, oh, ELO hell, dude, I'm stuck. I'm a diamond player, but I'm stuck in silver because of my teammates. It happens in Diamond that people quit. It happens all over. You know, that Ezreal, maybe it wasn't a rage quit. Maybe it was a DC. Well, DCs happen in this rating too. It's worth knowing. It's worth showing as well. But this has been the snowball of Nidalee. One of the scariest junglers in the game. When they know what they're doing. When they know, you know, when to be aggressive. And as I said, this type of game for a Nidalee is a common occurrence. Karma gets near enough one shot, and by the way, that was that without landing a spear. That was just jumping on her with Cougar form there. Crazy. And I imagine, by the way, oh yeah, Nidalee's already fed. She is. But she also has 3,500 gold that she hasn't even used yet. She could be even stronger. She could be doing way more damage than she currently is. But she hasn't even spent the money. And she's doing that much damage. Lands a spear, Ezreal half health. With the ult, Lucian does actually move out the way. You can tell these people aren't friendly to each other. But yeah, like, hopefully this has highlighted the snowball nature of Nidalee. But as I mentioned, it is two sides to the same coin. That you have this side of Nidalee that, oh my god, it's so hard to stop, it's so scary. But then, a lot of the time, if you have even an average game of Nidalee, you're not having a great game. Because again, high risk, high reward, squishy skill shot. If you're not landing your skill shots, if you go in at the wrong time, you're dead, or you do very little damage. But that's the thing with Nidalee, when you put every piece together and it goes well, it is frightening. And she, by the way, did end the game with nearly 4,000 gold just in her back pocket, though she could have been way stronger than she was already. But that is it. So again, a bit of a stomp game. They actually have blown up the Nexus at 18 minutes. It wasn't even a surrender by Red Team. It was a blown up Nexus at 18 minutes in a challenger level game. But that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, do throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.